the face, the only face, the real face of women's basketball, period. She did it again, Caitlin Clark, shattering records, creating new viewership records for USA Sports. She did it again. Y'all keep running around trying to pretend like this person's the face of the league, that person's the face of the league because they big.
Nobody saw this coming. Just when the WNBA thought the storm surrounding Sophie Cunningham had finally started to calm down, an even bigger shockwave ripped through the league. Fans weren't talking about a game-winning shot, they weren't debating the playoff race, and they certainly weren't expecting two of the league's most recognizable names to suddenly make a move that has everyone asking the same explosive question. Did Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull just send a message to the entire WNBA? Within minutes, social media exploded. Screenshots spread everywhere. Every basketball page was asking the same thing. Analysts began connecting dots that many fans had completely missed. Was this simply a coincidence, or was it a carefully timed response to the controversy surrounding Sophie Cunningham? The timing couldn't have been more unbelievable. As emotions reached a boiling point, supporters rushed to defend their favorite players while critics accused everyone of overreacting. Every new post created another wave of speculation, and every reaction only fueled the fire even more. But here's where the story becomes truly fascinating. Because this isn't just about one controversy. It isn't only about Sophie Cunningham. And it isn't even just about Caitlin Clark. Behind the headlines lies a much bigger story about loyalty, friendships, public perception, and the pressure of being under the brightest spotlight women's basketball has ever seen. The truth may not be what anyone expected. And once you see how every piece connects together, you'll understand why the entire WNBA suddenly feels like it's standing at the center of another.
More than 50 years of sports business, Darren Ravel is telling the truth. Leagues and unions have been long forbidden using derogatory NIL. The most popular NBA student example of this is the Reggie Miller choke and crotch grab.
Another unforgettable media storm. Let's break down exactly what happened. The WNBA has never been under a brighter spotlight than it is today. Every game, every interview, every social media post, and even every simple interaction between players is now dissected by millions of fans within minutes. What once would have been considered a routine moment can now become national conversation overnight. And that's exactly why the latest situation involving Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, and Lexie Hull has captured so much attention. To understand why people reacted so strongly, you first have to understand the atmosphere surrounding the league. Over the last year, Caitlin Clark has become one of the biggest names in all of sports. Her arrival brought record television ratings, sold-out arenas, and millions of new viewers who had never watched the WNBA before. With that popularity came something else: constant attention. Every hard foul became a headline. Every heated exchange became a debate. Every teammate's reaction became a story. Fans weren't just watching basketball anymore. They were trying to decode every relationship inside the league. That's where Sophie Cunningham entered the conversation. Known throughout her career for her fearless personality and physical style of play, Cunningham has never been someone to avoid confrontation. She has built a reputation as a player willing to stand up for teammates, challenge opponents, and play with relentless intensity. Some fans admire that toughness. Others believe she occasionally crosses the line. Regardless of where people stand, one thing is undeniable. When Sophie Cunningham is involved, people pay attention. Recent discussions surrounding her generated enormous buzz online. Clips circulated across social media, opinion videos accumulated millions of views, and fans argued endlessly over what really happened and what it meant for the league. Some believed the criticism directed toward her was excessive, while others insisted players should be held accountable for emotional moments on the court. The debate quickly grew beyond basketball. Sports talk shows joined in. Podcasts dedicated entire episodes to the controversy. Content creators produced endless breakdowns. Even casual fans who rarely followed the WNBA suddenly had opinions. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of another dramatic press conference or emotional interview, fans noticed activity involving Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull that immediately became the center of attention. Within minutes, basketball communities began sharing screenshots and discussing every possible interpretation. Was it a statement? Was it simply support between teammates? Or were fans reading far too much into ordinary interactions? No one seemed to agree. Some viewers insisted Clark and Hull were quietly signaling unity during a difficult moment for the league. Others argued that social media users were connecting unrelated events simply because emotions were already running high. That difference in interpretation is exactly what made the story explode. Because in today's sports world, perception often spreads faster than confirmed facts. A single image can become a trending topic. A brief interaction can create thousands of theories. One post can dominate headlines for days. The speed at which online conversations develop means fans frequently build narratives before complete information is available. And that appears to be exactly what happened here. Supporters of Caitlin Clark praised her for remaining composed despite constant scrutiny throughout her rookie season and beyond. They argued she has consistently handled enormous pressure with professionalism, refusing to fuel unnecessary drama even when media attention reached extraordinary levels. Lexie Hull also found herself receiving praise from fans who admire her steady presence, team-first mentality, and willingness to support teammates regardless of outside noise. While Hull rarely seeks headlines herself, this situation unexpectedly placed her directly in the middle of one of the league's biggest discussions. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham supporters pushed back against what they viewed as unfair criticism. They argued that Cunningham has always played with passion. She has always competed aggressively. She has always embraced the emotional side of basketball. To them, the latest controversy wasn't evidence of wrongdoing. It was simply another example of fans overanalyzing a competitive athlete. Others disagreed completely. They believed that intense moments should still carry responsibility and that public figures inevitably face stronger reactions because millions are watching. As those viewpoints collided, the conversation became increasingly emotional. Fans weren't simply debating basketball anymore. They were debating respect, leadership, sportsmanship, media narratives, player treatment, and even the future direction of the WNBA itself. That's why every move made by prominent players suddenly felt significant. Whether intentional or not, every action was interpreted through the lens of the ongoing controversy. Basketball analysts attempted to calm the conversation by reminding viewers that teammates often support one another privately and publicly without intending to send hidden messages. They cautioned against assuming motivations based solely on limited information. Still, those reminders did little to slow speculation. If anything, curiosity only intensified. Thousands of comments appeared asking the same question. What does this really mean? That question spread across every platform. Fans examined interviews. Old friendships resurfaced in discussions. Previous interactions were replayed repeatedly. Every detail became another piece of a puzzle that many people believed pointed toward something much larger. Then came another fascinating development. Instead of addressing every rumor directly, most of the players involved largely allowed the online conversation to unfold on its own. That silence created even more mystery. When athletes don't immediately respond, fans naturally begin filling in the blanks themselves. Some assumed silence meant agreement. Others believed it reflected professionalism. Some interpreted it as frustration with constant speculation. No interpretation could be confirmed. Yet every theory attracted thousands of supporters. This highlights one of the biggest realities facing today's athletes. They don't just compete on the court anymore. They're also navigating a non-stop digital world where every action can become front-page news within minutes. The pressure is relentless. One misunderstood moment can dominate headlines. One viral clip can shape public perception. One online trend can overshadow an entire season of outstanding basketball. Caitlin Clark has experienced that reality repeatedly. Lexie Hull has increasingly found herself caught within that spotlight as well. And Sophie Cunningham has long understood what it means to play with emotion while knowing cameras capture every second. Whether people agree or disagree with any of the opinions circulating online, one fact remains clear. The WNBA is receiving more attention than ever before. Every controversy becomes bigger. Every storyline spreads faster. Every player feels the weight of unprecedented visibility. But just when fans thought the story had reached its peak, a new development began changing the conversation once again. Because behind the viral headlines and endless speculation, another twist was quietly beginning to emerge, one that could completely reshape how people viewed everything that had happened so far. And that's where the story takes an even more surprising turn. As the online debate intensified, something remarkable started to happen. The conversation slowly shifted away from the original controversy and toward something much bigger: the relationships between players, the culture inside the WNBA, and the enormous pressure that comes with performing under a microscope. For years, the WNBA had passionate fans, but now every headline was reaching millions of casual sports viewers. That meant every disagreement, every celebration, and every emotional reaction was being analyzed by audiences who didn't always know the full context. And that's exactly why the situation surrounding Sophie Cunningham continued gaining momentum. Sports commentators began asking whether the league had entered a completely new era, one where social media narratives could become just as influential as the games themselves. Some believed the controversy had been exaggerated far beyond reality. Others argued that the intense public reaction simply reflected how much people now cared about women's basketball. Either way, there was no denying one thing: people were paying attention. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continued doing what she has consistently done throughout her professional career, focusing on basketball. Every time reporters asked about outside noise, Clark repeatedly emphasized teamwork, preparation, and winning games. Rather than fueling speculation, she often redirected conversations back toward her teammates and the season ahead. That approach earned praise from many observers. Some analysts pointed out that maintaining composure during constant media scrutiny isn't easy, especially when every statement can become a national headline within minutes. Lexie found herself in a similar position. Known for her relentless hustle and quiet leadership, Hull has rarely been someone who seeks controversy. Yet, because of her close connection with Clark and her visibility on one of the league's most talked about teams, even routine interactions suddenly became subjects of debate. Fans started creating elaborate theories. Was there a hidden message? Was there silent support? Or was everyone simply reading far too much into ordinary moments? The truth is that professional athletes often share friendships, encouragement, and support that never make headlines. What fans see publicly is only a small fraction of what actually happens inside locker rooms and team environments. But social media doesn't always reward patience. It rewards instant conclusions. A single screenshot can generate thousands of opinions before anyone involved has even spoken. That's exactly what unfolded. Within hours, basketball pages, podcasts, and YouTube creators were offering completely different interpretations of the same events. One creator claimed this was evidence of growing unity among players. Another argued it showed deeper divisions inside the league. Others insisted there was no story at all. The result? Confusion. Fans weren't just watching basketball anymore, they were choosing which narrative they believed. That phenomenon isn't unique to the WNBA. Across professional sports, online conversations increasingly shape public perception long before all the facts are available. Still, because Caitlin Clark has become one of the biggest names in American sports, anything connected to her naturally attracts extraordinary attention. Every trend grows larger. Every rumor spreads faster. Every discussion becomes louder. And with that attention comes enormous responsibility. League veterans have frequently spoken about the importance of protecting the growth of the game while also allowing players to express emotion authentically. Finding that balance isn't easy. Basketball has always been emotional, competitive, physical, intense. Players celebrate. Players argue. Players defend teammates. Those moments are part of sports. The challenge comes when millions of viewers begin assigning motives that may or may not exist. As debate continued, Former players weighed in with thoughtful perspectives. Some reminded fans that strong personalities have always existed in professional basketball. Others encouraged viewers not to confuse passionate competition with personal hostility. Those voices helped add balance to an increasingly emotional conversation. Even so, online speculation showed no signs of slowing down. Every new interview was examined. Every post received thousands of comments. Every appearance generated fresh theories. Some fans insisted Sophie Cunningham had been unfairly portrayed. Others maintained that public criticism naturally follows highly visible controversies. The divide remained sharp. Interestingly, many neutral observers noticed something else entirely. Despite the constant headlines, the players themselves largely continued preparing for games, attending practices, and focusing on basketball. While fans debated online, life inside the league moved forward. Coaches still prepared game plans. Teams still traveled. Practices continued. The season didn't stop because social media was arguing. That contrast became one of the most fascinating aspects of the entire situation. Outside the league, emotions seemed explosive. Inside the league, the focus largely remained on competition. Still, the public fascination wasn't disappearing. Many believed this controversy represented something larger than a single incident. It reflected how dramatically women's basketball has grown. Higher television ratings, larger audiences, greater media attention, bigger expectations. Those developments are overwhelmingly positive for the sport, but they also create unprecedented pressure for the athletes involved. Every decision carries greater visibility. Every mistake receives more attention. Every success inspires even more scrutiny. Caitlin Clark has experienced that reality almost daily. Lexie has increasingly shared that spotlight. Sophie Cunningham has also become one of the league's most discussed personalities because of her fearless style of play. Whether fans supported one player or another, everyone seemed to agree on one point. The WNBA had entered a completely different era. An era where every storyline could become national news. An era where every controversy could dominate sports conversations for days. An era where social media often moves faster than facts. But just when many believed the discussion had finally reached its peak, another wave of reactions began surfacing. This time, the focus wasn't only on the players. Attention started turning toward the league itself. People began asking whether the WNBA's rapid growth required new ways of handling viral moments, public controversies, and the nonstop attention surrounding its biggest stars. Those questions opened an entirely new chapter in the conversation. And for many fans, that chapter proved even more compelling than the original controversy itself. Because what happened next wasn't just about one player. It was about the future image of the entire league. By the time the discussion reached its peak, it had become clear that this story was no longer just about a single controversy or a handful of players. It had evolved into a conversation about the future of the WNBA itself. For years, league officials, players, and fans have worked tirelessly to grow women's basketball into a mainstream sports product. Television ratings climbed. Attendance records were broken. Corporate sponsors invested more heavily. The national media devoted more airtime to the league than ever before. Then came the arrival of a new generation of stars. Caitlin Clark became one of the biggest names in American sports, attracting millions of first-time viewers. Those new fans didn't simply watch games, they followed every interview, every social media interaction, and every headline involving the league's biggest personalities. That unprecedented attention brought incredible opportunities. But it also created unprecedented pressure. Every disagreement suddenly felt larger. Every controversial moment became a national talking point. Every viral clip generated thousands of opinions before the final buzzer had even sounded. The latest discussion surrounding Sophie Cunningham illustrated exactly how quickly today's sports world moves. Within hours, countless creators had produced videos offering completely different interpretations of the same situation. Some believed the reactions were justified. Others argued the story had been exaggerated. Many simply wanted clarity. Yet the one thing everyone seemed to agree on was that interest in the WNBA had never been higher. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continued doing what many of her supporters admire most. She stayed focused on basketball. Rather than publicly fueling speculation, her attention remained on preparation, teammates, and improving every game. That consistency became one of the defining themes of her season. No matter what dominated social media, Clark's approach rarely appeared to change. Lexie Hull also continued earning praise for her work ethic and professionalism. Coaches have frequently highlighted the importance of players who embrace team roles, defend relentlessly, and bring energy every night. Hull has built that reputation through steady performances instead of dramatic headlines. Ironically, that quiet consistency made her unexpected appearance in online conversations even more surprising. Fans who normally discussed her hustle and defense were suddenly debating theories that extended far beyond basketball. It demonstrated just how dramatically public attention has shifted. Today, even routine interactions can become major stories. Sophie Cunningham found herself in a similar spotlight. Throughout her career, she has been known as an emotional competitor who plays with confidence and intensity. Some fans appreciate that fearless approach because it reflects genuine competitive fire. Others prefer a calmer style of leadership. Neither perspective disappeared during the controversy. Instead, both sides became even louder. Supporters argued that passionate athletes should not be defined by isolated moments. Critics maintained that high-profile players naturally face higher expectations. Neither side showed much willingness to change its opinion. As debate intensified, veteran basketball analysts offered a broader perspective. They reminded viewers that professional sports have always featured emotional competitors. History is filled with athletes who played with extraordinary passion. Intense rivalries, physical games, fiery personalities. Those elements have always been part of basketball. The difference today is speed. Decades ago, controversial moments might dominate sports pages for a day or two. Now they spread globally within minutes. Every replay is available instantly. Every fan has a platform. Every opinion can reach millions. That reality has transformed the relationship between athletes and the public. Players no longer perform only in arenas. They also compete in an environment where every action is discussed online around the clock. For younger stars entering the league, adapting to that reality may be almost as challenging as adjusting to professional competition itself. League executives understand this challenge well. Growing attention brings increased revenue, larger audiences, and greater opportunities for players. At the same time, greater visibility means every controversy receives amplified coverage. Finding the balance between promoting the league and managing non-stop public narratives has become increasingly important. Many observers believe that is one of the defining challenges of the modern WNBA. How do you encourage authentic personalities while ensuring the focus remains on the incredible basketball being played? There isn't a simple answer. Some believe transparency is best. Others argue that constant responses only fuel additional speculation. Every situation requires thoughtful judgment. As this story gradually settled, many fans began reflecting on something they had overlooked during the height of the online debate. Despite all the headlines, the season kept moving forward. Teams continued practicing. Players continued competing. Championship aspirations remained unchanged. The league's biggest stars still had games to win. That perspective reminded many people why they became fans in the first place. The excitement, the competition, the unforgettable performances, the passion displayed every single night. While social media conversations eventually fade, great basketball has a lasting impact. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson from this entire episode. Moments of controversy will always exist in sports. Fans will always disagree. Commentators will always offer different interpretations. But ultimately, seasons are remembered because of what happens on the court. And with so much talent spread across the WNBA, the next unforgettable storyline is probably only one game away. As for Caitlin Clark, Lexie Hull, and Sophie Cunningham, each will continue writing her own story through performances rather than online speculation. Some fans will cheer. Some will criticize. Others will simply enjoy watching elite athletes compete at the highest level. One thing, however, seems beyond debate. Women's basketball has reached a level of popularity where every major moment captures national attention. That growth represents an exciting future for the league, even if it also brings more intense public scrutiny. And perhaps that's the biggest headline of all. The conversation surrounding the WNBA has never been louder, and if recent history is any indication, the next chapter will arrive sooner than anyone expects. What do you think really happened here? Was the reaction surrounding Sophie Cunningham blown out of proportion? Did fans read too much into the attention surrounding Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull? Or is this simply what happens when a league reaches a whole new level of popularity and every single moment is magnified under the spotlight? One thing is certain, the WNBA has entered a new era. Every game, every rivalry, every emotional moment, and every headline now sparks conversations across the sports world. Whether you agree with the opinions circulating online or not, there's no denying that women's basketball has become one of the hottest topics in sports today. Now we want to hear your perspective. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the discussion. Just remember to keep the conversation respectful. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and that's what makes sports debates so exciting. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth coverage of the biggest WNBA stories, player updates, breaking news, and the hottest basketball debates, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. We're following every major storyline throughout the season, from playoff races and standout performances to the biggest headlines surrounding the league's brightest stars. As new developments unfold, we'll be here to break them all down for you. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. It really helps support the channel and lets us keep bringing you the latest basketball stories. Until next time, stay safe, stay passionate about the game, and we'll see you in the next video.